Hi, everybody. Welcome to this week's module. I'll continue where Mr. Khan left off last week. One of the things we're going to do differently a little bit is we're going to give you guys these videos and a quiz at the end for the module instead of Edpuzzle, because Edpuzzle has been a little unreliable for us, and that's not good. So we're going to basically treat it the same way as we treated the Edpuzzles as far as your assignments for the week. You can even watch the video while taking the quiz. That's what an Edpuzzle is anyway. So that's fine. I recommend doing that. You'll do better on it. And we'll walk through a few more things about these notes that we're going through right now for our battery saving tips for our iPad. So first is disable Bluetooth. Is if you're not using any Bluetooth devices, like you're not using AirPods, you're not using wireless headphones, you're not using a wireless keyboard, there's no reason to have your Bluetooth enabled. When Bluetooth is enabled, it's always on. It's always searching for something to connect to. So disabling that is a huge help to save a little bit of battery life. And again, if you follow all of these tips, you'll probably get 7 to 12% more battery back in your day at Kellenberg, which could make or break some days, especially if it's a particularly heavy day of iPad use. Sometimes at the end of eighth period, we're desperate for some battery. So that's why we're giving you guys these tips. And my favorite is the battery saving myths, the things that people believe help, but actually do not help at all. And I want to get you guys away from these things so that way you don't make these mistakes and you don't invest time in these practices for no payoff. So first one is that using Apple's chargers are better than non-Apple chargers. There's no real truth to that. Basically, like I say, it's not entirely true. The quality of other third-party chargers can be good or better, but like most things in life, you generally get what you pay for. So if you buy a cheap charger, it's probably not going to be as useful or as reliable as if you spend a little bit more money and buy a better one. Apple's are good, but the Amazon ones you can get for less than what you pay for an Apple one are just as good. So definitely don't fall for that myth. Like I said, you basically get what you pay for when it comes to that. The other thing is some people say that you should let your iPad's battery fully run out before you charge it. Your parents might have told you this because 30 years ago, that's how batteries worked, rechargeable batteries, that if you didn't fully let them drain, they would not be as good as if you did. So this is not true. Modern batteries can be charged at any time without hurting the battery. Apple's own website says charge your Apple lithium-ion battery whenever you want. There's no need to let it discharge 100% before recharging. So that's a myth. Other one is that you can't overcharge your battery. Leaving your iPad plugged in when it's at 100% will not overcharge it. That's something that I've heard students say before. This isn't entirely true. Once your iPad reaches 80% when you're recharging, the battery only allows what they call a trickle of energy to charge the battery. So it will stop charging it once it's at 100%. And then if it falls below, it'll charge enough just to bring it back to 100. You can't like supercharge a battery. It won't explode. It won't go on fire, nothing like that. Like I said, once it's full, the iPad regulates how much energy is allowed for the battery. And my favorite myth that I love sharing with people is that quitting apps will not save your battery's life. When you open an app, a lot of energy is used. When you go to another app, iOS keeps your first app open in the background. So when you need it, it doesn't have to restart the whole app. You don't have to quit your apps. That doesn't help anything. I know some people like to clear out all their apps. They'll open it up. Where's my iPad? Stand by. So here's my iPad. Here's everything I have open. Oops. At the moment, everything. I don't quit any apps. My iPad battery is fine. Nothing's hurting from it. When your app goes, when you're not using it, it goes into a dormant stage. When iOS needs more space, it automatically quits the background app activity on its own. And like I said, it goes into this dormant phase. So it's there when you swipe up and you can see them all, but it's not doing anything. It just saves basically a screenshot of the last thing you did and just keeps it there. And then when you tap on it, it starts the app up again. It's not really up. It's not really on when it's in the background. So quitting apps does nothing to save your battery. If you are a person who likes to quit all their apps they're not using, that's a different story. That's fine. But if you're somebody who thinks you're doing something by quitting your apps, you're not doing anything. While it doesn't say battery life, it's a good practice to quit all apps and restart your iOS about once a month to clear out possible issues. So there is some benefit. I will go back on what I just said. About once a month, it's good to quit everything, turn your iPad off, turn your iPad back on again, and that will help clear out any issues of like syncing to iCloud or email issues not coming in. That it just gives everything a refresh. I like to tell people that, pick a day of the week, like Tomlin Tuesday or Throwback Thursday when you're on morning announcements. And when that announcement comes on, when that song comes on, turn your iPad off. And when the song's over, turn your iPad back on. And that will help keep your iPad healthy, keep it working correctly. It's good to do a restart every now and then. That doesn't help the battery. It just kind of helps overall what or how your iPad is being used. All right. So that's where we're going to end today. Next time, we're going to talk about search engines and some research tips as we look through everything online to, for things we need to use online research for school and for our lives in general. So thank you guys very much. Remember to do the quiz that goes with this video. Please work on your project that is due November 23rd and that typing assignment as well. We're changing typing a little bit. We had thought that we could be grading your work one way when in fact it looks like we are unable to with typing.com. They've not been as good as we thought they would be. And we put a little notice in the last module, but your typing work will be assessed in 3 test grades. First test grade is accuracy, how accurate you are with your typing. And that's going to be a straight test grade. So if you are 93% accurate, you get a 93 test grade. If you're 100% accurate, you get a 100% test grade. That's how that works. Second way we're going to be doing it is words per minute. So how fast you type. And how we're going to do that is we're going to take our class average. And if you are average, you get 100. If you are below average by 1 word per minute, you get a 99. If you are below average by 10 words per minute, you get a 90. So for every word per minute you're lower, you get a point deducted. Generally, most students get 90s and above on this, so don't worry about it. And the third way, so we have accuracy, words per minute, and time spent. So how have you done the assignments? We'll take how long it takes to complete all the assignments and take the average. And if you're average or above, you get 100. And for every minute, I think it's either every minute or every 5 minutes, we have to kind of iron that out. We take a point off for every minute. So again, most people get 90s or above on this. This is easy stuff. You just got to do the work and you'll be fine. So thank you guys very much for this week's module. Remember, we release them now on Fridays and they're due the next Friday. And that's about it. Have a great week. Happy Halloween. Enjoy the weekend. So long, guys.